This is David Tremonti with FlowCombat.com, and this is Uncaged. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Cortney Casey, UFC fighter, but of course in Uncaged, we like to talk about life outside the cage. So, Cortney, we know weight cutting sucks, you're training all the time, the life of a fighter is hard. Tell me this. Your last off day, the last time you weren't in the gym, the last time you weren't in a fight camp, you weren't helping a friend train, what did you do? What's like an off day activity for Cortney Casey?
I have a Jeep, so I normally like cruise in my Jeep to go somewhere. My sister lives pretty far out in the middle of nowhere in Santan from where I'm at. I'm out in Glendale, so I drive out there, which is about an hour away. I go out there, and she has about an acre and a pool and a half pipe and stuff like that. So I go over there and chill with my nephews most of the time. I'm pretty lame. It's clean fun, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going out and drinking or anything like that, but I like to stay active. I like to ride my bike and, hang out with my nephews. But if I'm hanging out with my friends, like sometimes we'll go to the lake or go on a hike.
What about after a fight or a particularly tough training? Do you give yourself a cheat day or no? Food-wise?
This fight was April 14th and my birthday was May 5th, so I got to go out and hang out with my friends and, enjoy being 30, so yeah, I mean, I like to go out and have fun, but I like to go to like I guess they're kind of like hipster kind of bars and stuff, with cornhole and the big giant Jenga and stuff like that.
Did you partake in a hipster craft brew beer?
I haven't yet, but those are all over Phoenix. Those are all over. I did compete in a hula hoop contest, though, on my birthday, which is pretty awesome.
A hula hoop contest? What is this, 1950?
Yeah.
Did you win?
I did not win. I mean, there are some pretty legit hula hoopers out there.
I don't even know if I want to meet those people.
Jakar Close beat me, actually. He was a better hula hooper than me.
Jakar Close did it, too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
Got ya. Have you ever seen your coach, John Crouch, do anything ridiculous, out and about? He's not a hula hooper, obviously, but have you ever seen him kind of
he would hula hoop. John Crouch does everything. He's cool. He's one of those. I mean, every day he's funny. I mean, he's always doing something hilarious. He's definitely a light in the gym. He's one of those coaches that, I mean, he's not a big yeller or anything like that. He motivates you in different ways, but he definitely brings a lot of humor to the gym, which is really good. And especially, it's great in fight camp and stuff to have that kind of personality around.
All right, so you said sometimes you'll drive out to the lake. It's an hour away from where you are. What do you do as far as in-car entertainment? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you just rock out with music?
Normally it's music. I'm huge on country. I listen to everything, but I like country. I like old hip-hop and stuff like that. I do listen to podcasts here and there, especially if Joe Rogan comes out with a new one. I'll put that in.
What about movies? Do you get into movies at all, or not really?
Yeah, I love watching movies. I like watching old movies. I like watching a series of things. I'm not big on just junk TV. You know what I mean? I like going on Netflix and picking documentaries and watching that and in movies and stuff like that, but I'm not big on just sitting around and watching junk television. Food Network, gotta love the Food Network.
Does it drive you crazy though to watch food shows and know that you can't necessarily eat that food if you're in a training camp or cutting weight?
No, not at all. I actually feel like all my food watching and my food Pinteresting and all my food stuff goes up by 20% in camp, easily. I visually eat it, I feel like it helps me.
That's funny. All right, so this is the scene I'm getting from you. For movies, I still haven't gotten the sense though. What's your favorite kind of movie? Action movie or rom-com? What's your go-to?
Oh, action for sure. Comedies. I would say my top. You want me to give you my classic top 5 movies that I like?
Yes, I would love to hear that.
Dirty Dancing, Best of the Best, Gladiator, Kickboxer. I like old school, Pineapple Express, things like that. Die Hard. I mean, movies, good ones.
Yeah, I hear you, dude. Hey, Die Hard. That is one of the best Christmas movies of all time. With Kickboxer. Is that a movie that when you were growing up, potentially did that kind of lead to your interest in martial arts, or?
I think I was really interested in martial arts at a young age. I don't know why. But I was always drawn to that like section at Blockbuster. Me and my sister are only 15 months apart, so my dad kind of treated us pretty equally. So she got a movie, I got a movie, and then we got to pick a movie together. She'd go off one direction, I'd always go to the martial arts, section. I'd always get a movie from there. But yeah, like Best of the Best, Bloodsport, all the Best of the Best, really. Kickboxer, old like HBO like matches and stuff, like boxing matches and things like that I would watch.
I myself fell in love with the UFC at Blockbuster because I went to the special interest section and saw it on like the bottom shelf and was like, "What's this?" Do you remember the first time you actually saw UFC or any mixed martial arts? Maybe it was Pride or something else.
Yeah, it was Pride. I remember watching Pride, and I remember watching Crow Cop, and I was like, "This guy is awesome."
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I remember watching Pride, and then I started watching Pride more frequently, and then obviously UFC, got more mainstream, and I started watching it. I do remember getting like a DVD at FYE, like the original like UFCs, so I started watching those. But yeah, other than that, like I think it was just I don't know what it was about it that I was drawn to. It might have been that my best friend growing up was in karate and I could never do it, so I always just like hung out with him and like pretended like I knew what I was doing.
So yeah, then how did the MMA come about then? So soccer ends, and then how do you get into street MMA?
I ended my soccer career after my senior year of college, and I took a pretty bad injury, and then I just kind of started rehabbing that, and one of my friends asked me to go to a gym, and I thought we were going to go lift, and he ended up taking me to Jiu-Jitsu Academy, and that was that. Like, I fell in love with it, and it was like 3 months after that I did my first tournament, and then another 3 months after that I took my first fight. So within 6 months of training, I took my first fight.
And if I'm not mistaken, you are now a brown belt in BJJ, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. And
brown belt under Eduardo Sanchez, yeah.
Do you still find the time, do you compete in BJJ like when you're not in a street MMA fight camp or no?
I try to. I do try to. It just sucks because every time I sign up for like worlds, like whether it's gi or no gi or a tournament, I end up getting a fight. So sometimes I'm like, I'm going to sign up for this tournament because I'm going to get called soon. So like that's normally how it happens. But hopefully this year I'll be able to get one in. But yeah, I try to do it. I try to stay as active as possible in jiu-jitsu. I think it's really, I feel like it's a big aspect to my game, and I really feel like you got to stay current or else you fall behind so quick, especially in jiu-jitsu.
Agreed. Are you more of a gi or no gi girl?
I would say I'm pretty close to 50-50. I mean, I started off in no gi, and then I really fell in love with the gi a lot. So like a lot of people, like when it comes camp time, they'll stop training gi. You know what I mean? They'll go straight to no gi. I'll train gi all the way through my whole camp.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the final question. I think we've gotten a better picture of Cortney Casey, the person, not just the fighter. If you weren't in MMA professionally, what do you think you might be doing right now?
I'd be teaching or coaching of some sort for sure. Yeah, definitely teaching or coaching, like coaching soccer, or teaching kids. I really like working with like early education, like K through third. I like going to schools and just talking to high school kids about like the recruiting process and all that kind of stuff. So definitely working with kids in some way.
Well, that's awesome. That's very cool. Well, Cortney, we cannot thank you enough for the time. We hope you somewhat enjoyed it as well. And I
did anytime.
I was going to say, do you have that next fight booked? Because I didn't see anything.
I don't have anything booked. I'm hoping, to get something soon. There's a lot of fights coming up, especially with all the ranked, the top 15 fighters are getting fights against each other. So we just got to kind of wait, see how those fights go. And then hopefully I'll get one in, soon, August, September, maybe, hopefully. So. Okay. Well, you never know. Might have to jump in on a short notice. You never know.
True. Okay. Well, whenever that happens, whether it be short notice, hopefully not like week of or anything, but short notice, or if you get that fight in August or September, we'd definitely love to have you back on, and we'll talk about the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.